The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the Sportlight with Yvonne Mangunda. And as usual, we're bringing you a bigger sporting personality to talk about their journey, where they've been and what they see in the future. Today is no different. Actually, it is different because this is the first time that I am having a guest straight out of Bulawayo. He's in the capital for a bit and I said, please come to the show. I am talking about a legend. You will be excited about this because I know I'm very excited. I used to watch him play and get very excited. I am talking about none other than Signature Johannes Ngodzo. Oh, I am so... Yo. Jay,
I am happy.
Hi. I'm so excited. So excited. Ngiyabonga kakhulu for agreeing to come to the interview. You know, sometimes you're just like, ngiyazama. I'll just try. Maybe something will come up. And when you said yes, I was so excited. So you are in Harare.
Yeah, I'm in Harare.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in Harare. I'm here to visit my friends. So I'll maintain to the opportunity that I'm very sure Yvonne.
Hey,
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. So we'll start with where it all began. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up, maybe it was a compound in the outside Bulawayo, maybe 10 k's. It was, my father was working there. They called Zimbabwe, and then I think that's where my football career started. And then my father was a footballer, so everything I think, and then I get too used to football because I always watch my father playing, so that's where we started.
But talking about back then in those days, when you started playing, like let's say in the compound you were in, how early or how young were you when people started realizing you were much more special than the rest of the boys you were playing with?
Yeah, I think when I was maybe 10, 11, then the people in the compound, they started realizing, they were kachana, and then, but if you are young, you don't know anything, you are just playing for fun. So I think all started from there.
So how long were you, what schools did you go to?
I went to, that compound was a primary school. I went from grade 1 to grade 7. Then after grade 7, then I went to town, Mzilikazi, in Mzilikazi.
And what
That's
was
my secondary.
What was the transition like from a small compound and now being in Mzilikazi?
I think the transition it wasn't okay, but luckily because I was playing football, I made a lot of friends. Maybe in the space of maybe 2 months, I've got maybe 5 or 6 friends. So it was easy for me because of football. And
we talk about Mzilikazi, we talk about football, you can't talk about football in Malawi without talking about Mzilikazi.
No, I can never.
And what was the experience like? Did you always used to play in the street? At what stage, like in that time when you arrived, did you already know where you could go play, maybe at a club or an academy? How did you adjust and what was your part like in football?
The first thing, I was looking for a Form 1 to go in school. But I went to Nkuluman where my grandparents were staying, and then I didn't get that place to go. Then I came back to Mzilikazi. I came back to my trials in Mzilikazi for under 15 juniors or Highlanders. That's when they selected me. They asked me, are you schooling? I said, no. Then they looked for me at Mzilikazi. It was easy for me because of what? Because of football.
I mean, like Highlanders, juniors, for a youngster, especially when you consider that you just moved into town, into Bulawayo. How was the feeling like and how was the transition?
Yeah, back then it was difficult to play for under 15 Highlanders because when you went for trials, maybe 300 kids there, under 15. So it was difficult to be selected sometimes. So maybe say it was lucky because back then the talent was too much. But maybe we went there, with my friend Wellington Sibanda, and then we were selected, and then I was happy. The first time I was happy in my life to be selected to play for Highlanders juniors.
And wearing that black and white?
Even if after the game from juniors, maybe they'll give you those kits. You we wear it until you sleep with it. It was to wear that jersey from under 15. I think that jersey is too big it was too big for us.
And I have to ask you again about that, because you sort of feel like there are teams where players really get an attachment to the badge. Teams where the badge means more, maybe. For you, what did that badge represent throughout your career, when you wore Highlanders colours and that Highlanders badge on your playing top?
I think that's very big thing in Bulawayo to wear that jersey, especially if you are playing from junior to the first team. I think that badge is very special to me. Even for right now, if I remember my playing days juniors, and then that jersey is very big.
And take us through the transition from under 15. How did you progress up until you played for the first team?
Yeah, because when we are playing under 15, you'll be watching the under 17. The under 17 are good. Then now you are doubting yourself. Then you watch under 18. Hey, under 18 are very good. Now every time you be doubting yourself. Then you look again. That time there was a reserve side. Then the reserve side people were good. We ended up playing the first team. Then there's a first team. But at the end of the day, you just play, just to enjoy. But it was difficult.
Who were you looking up to from, let's say, the first team or the reserve team? Who did you look at and think?
They were good. They were good players back then. Maybe the under 17, there was a guy who was called Johnston Shambaroma. I was very good. There was Caesar Khoza, Giftulunga Junior. There was the guy from our neighborhood, Mzilekazi. His name was Lindana. I was very good. Those people were good. So it was difficult. Just watch. Then now you are doubting yourself. But yeah, I think to me, to play for the first team, I think I'm very happy.
And when you were in the juniors, how often did you train?
Yeah, in the juniors, we always train from Tuesday to Thursday in the afternoon after school. Yeah, but it was, I think I will need to thank the coach. It was Ali Papa. I think he was a good coach. Maybe most of the good players from Bulawayo, they came from him. He was the finger father in juniors. What made
him special? What do you think? What do you credit? What sort of person was he?
I don't know, but I think everyone. I think there was a time when there was a time they fired him from Highlanders. I was seated at home. Now I was maybe going for under 17. Then he went to the Stars, just called me. Hey, yo, Sengo the Stars, training, didn't hesitate. We left and as we go to the Stars. That was how big that man is at the pub.
So you left, literally just said.
I didn't ask anyone, I just left and then I went to the Stars for training. Maybe around 30, 40 good players left the Highlanders to join the Stars because of that man.
And then what happened when you were at Stars? How long were you there?
I stayed for maybe 3 years. So I was now from Highlanders, I was playing under 15, 17. So when I went to the Stars, I was playing under 17. I stayed for maybe 2 years. That's where the problem for me started to. I imagine Highlanders now, they want me. So that's where the Stars, they want me. That's where my value now. Everyone said, I want you. So that's where everything started from me.
And you made the decision to go to Highlanders?
It was difficult because I was playing for the Stars under 17. When we are young, we players, we used to sneak around, go to play another team that plays Division 2. If you play maybe our game is 9, there's a game at 2 or 3 o'clock. I played 9, then I went to play 3 because there's man, juniors there's no man. So you know how naughty we. So the coach will never know. Then you go and play that side. So I think one day there was a team that was owned by former Zephyr president Gifty Banda, Njobe Sundowns, who was playing Division 2. So I went there to visit my friend, Joseph Ngwenyane, now who was in Books of Pioneer Monic, now he's in the States. So he was my best friend. So we were together at school playing soccer school together. So I went there and visited him. So I was injured. So they were playing a friendly reserve game with Amazulu at Luvev. So I went there with my friends. So they had that team, my numbers, maybe they were short with one player. Then Gifty Panda.
Please don't tell me you played.
I was injured. And then Gifty Panda asking my friend, Jose, and Gifty used to stay in South Africa. Hey, Jose, le ntwana ngiyakuphi le ntwana le. Jose, taya le ntwana le. Ntwana yami sihlala ke pore school. That time I was slim. This thin guy, what's this thin guy? I was slim. Jose said, no, he's our captain at Mziligas. I poro yanjan, iyalazi. So no. Manje ungathini? Said, kangeni ngina ama-shooters. Ngizamnikeza mina ama-shooters. That's why Gift Partner give me the boots. And then after that, it was history. He drove me from Luveve to home. Said, now you are my player. So I started to play foot again. Since for Santas.
Johannes, you were naughty.
Because now you
were injured. Weren't you injured?
I was injured with a prone, but I just played. But what I did that day,
you went where the money was.
People was surprised. From that day, he went with me to our airport at Ziligas. Then our aunties there, Gift was going with a big car. Still, you know why? Just to brush them off, no, don't. That's why Gift Panda. My Gift Panda was in the interest of Gift Panda. Manje Islanders now they know Gift Panda. Manje Gift Panda went to Islanders and said, I want to buy this ball. All the noise started now. Islanders they refused. Then that time it was manager, it was Mr. Mapepa. I refused. I said, no.
But you wanted to go, Chisa.
Now it was money. Now I'm 17, now I'm thinking about money. Now I'm 17, now I'm older now. Now I play for juniors and then I play for Division 2. And then after the game, they give you something.
So Highlanders refused. That deal never went through.
Man, that's a Gifty Panda made me to play for Islanders. To Islanders, they recognized me earlier. I didn't play for under 19 Islanders. Didn't play for reserve.
So now they realized they had something very valuable.
Very, very valuable in me. So the coach that side, it was Raman. So I was school training. Maybe we were preparing for Coca-Cola tournament. Mm-hmm. I think we played tournament which was in Pindura. I think we won that tournament. So I was in school training with my guys. Then I saw Mr. Mapepa's car. This is our manager from Highlanders. What he's doing here in school. Then he went to the teachers, talked to the teacher. After maybe 2 minutes, then I was called. Then when I went there to the manager. Now, where we going manage? No, so I think there was a meeting between the manager and the coach Raman.
The coach, yeah.
So Raman didn't know me because those time juniors were maybe more than 46 were very good. Mm-hmm. So it was difficult just to go that route from 15, 17, 18, 19 reserve first. It was very difficult. So Raman was coaching under 23 Zimbabwe. That time it was that Zimbabwe Blessing Makoneke, Desmond Maringwa, Richard Choruma, those guys. So they were going to Botswana. So they were training they camped in Bulawayo. So they were going by road in Francistown. Mm-hmm. So there was a friendly game with the Islanders. So they said that, just like that. No, where I'm going? When we get there to see, I see people wearing Zimbabwean colors, mapping. Man, what I'm doing? I'm from school. Yeah. I said, you are playing a friend game, you are starting. The coach want to see you. This is a press, but I was still there and nothing to lose. I said, no problem. I played the whole game. Then the Raman was satisfied. When I'm coming back, I want this sport to be signed. That was there to join Islanders. It was difficult because Resters were wanting to sign me. Joe Sundowns wanted to sign me. Islanders. My at Resters, they said, You will give even your uncle a job, and then you sign a contract. Your uncle working, you will sign a contract to get resistance. It was difficult, but I was young, and then obvious now it was the passion that made me go to Highlanders.
So it says a lot because at some point you want obviously you want the money.
Yeah.
But there's also that loyalty to Highlanders and the prestige of playing for Highlanders.
Yeah.
So do you ever look back and think, maybe I could have gone that route, or everything that happened after that worked so well that you don't think about it?
It was a decision that it was an easy decision back there because the page of Highlanders to play for Highlanders. Everyone from Zilegazi, the PF is there. I stay here just to play for Highlanders. I think it is special. So the decision, it was easy decision to make because the Gifty Partner gave me a job. So now go and work. I will pay you food again. I went 2 days at work, and then after 2 days, my paper came to me again. I was working and then go train at Highlanders.
So when you started out in the Highlanders senior team, take me through some of the names that were playing at that time.
Yeah, at that time it was difficult at Highlanders. But I think the guys who helped me, because I stay same line with Gifty Ngodzo. Then Gifty Ngodzo, I was friend with Zenzo Moy. So by that time, those were the big guys in the dressing room. There were Tulani Ngube, was the captain. There was Betemba Ndlovu, Tezika Penya, Joe Lupatla, Caesar Koza. Hey, those
are big names.
Yeah, those were big names. Even if you just enter the training ground, you ask yourself, what I'm doing here.
So I have had conversations, obviously, about how juniors are now, or new kids in the team are now compared to back then. What was it like being a junior in a team like that with such big names? Did you have to carry people's bags? Did you have to wait for people to sit before you could sit? Were there some sort of certain things that as a youngster coming in you couldn't do because they are these big boys, or you had to wait?
It was difficult because one way you jump, they will ask you, hey, polish shooters zamla. Even if you go and train in a mud surface, they say, hey, get some shooters. You don't hesitate to just do what they told you. But it was difficult because those guys were big names. So to be junior, to go there in a Lions Den, you are just young, and then you are thin, and then those big guys, I will do anything. Because those guys were playing. And then the only thing, sometimes if you go, then those guys were watching them. You need to give them respect. So
at what point in your career, if you still remember, do you think was a turning point where you now became a household name outside just Bulawayo, Highlanders, but Zimbabwe, when you became Signature?
Yeah, I think I've got 2 nicknames. When I was growing up, they were calling me Yoko under 15, Yoko just for blessing my Koneke. Then when I joined the Highlanders first team, they called me Chisa. That's the turning point, because that name, if you come to a Lions Den, big guy, then they will say I, then Tony Borealas, then I, and then so Chisa is what I then Tony Cheese. So now you can see that I know. If the guys can give you that respect, you can see that there's something I'm doing is okay. Then I came to Harare, they gave me Signature, and then those, if you can come to this big city here,
and you sign, they say you sign them.
Then I sign, then they give you this nickname. Sometimes I sit down and say, and then I ask myself why, but because maybe I was doing something good, I don't know. But I'm happy for that.
I have to confess, and I think I've said it before. I don't know if I've told you, but I've said it so much about how you were my favorite, favorite player. At the time when I keenly got introduced into Zimbabwe, there's times when you watch football, you're going with your parents, but there comes a stage when you're now keenly following as an individual. And when you look back at your playing days, who do you think was your competition? What player did you look at and think, he's amazing, he is the player, aside from yourself?
Especially Highlanders, the competition was not okay, because it was very difficult. You need from day one training, you need to go there and compete. I think by that time, when we were playing, there was no salary. That was difficult that time. It was the appearance. If you appear maybe in a month, if you appear 2 games, there's a percentage that they'll give you. And like these days, these boys, they can relax. No, I'm on. They can give me my salary every month.
Even I'm on the play. Yeah.
Even I said I'm injured. But at that time, if you are injured, you need to play, because if you are injured, you are not going to get paid your monthly. And then that side, you need to pay rent. So I think now by then, it was, you need to fight for everything, because you need to pay. So you need to pay your bills. But now I think it's okay, because now everyone is on salary.
But if you compare the olden days, your time, the value and the weight in which you carried by wearing that Highlanders jersey, is it still the same? Do you think youngsters nowadays still hold it in the same way that in the olden days, what it meant to wear that?
No, I don't think so. I don't. Now they're just playing. But back then, just to wear that jersey, you need to fight. You need to fight for your people. You need to fight for that area Mzlegas. If I stay to Mzlegas, I need to fight for Mzlegas. Because every day, when I wake up in the morning, they will say, now I'm going to sleep, but you need to fight for. They said, even tomorrow in the morning, if they see you, they know you played very well. No, I was You need to, because football is not about me. I'm doing this for my community. I'm doing this for the page. I'm doing this for my friends. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for everyone who is associated to the Highlanders.
So when you look at that time, when you had a bad game, what was it like when you that week when you're walking, because you can't hide whether it's in Zilikazi or it's in town in CBD.
Yes. Yeah, the problem with Highlanders supporters they will do anything. If they want to win, they will tell you that in the best this. But but when the game is on, you hear them. Zam and Zam. But when you're outside now, they talk you nicely. Check it out, nicely now. But when the emotions will be high.
Oh, so during the game the emotions are high. But they don't take it outside to then see you and be like,
No. But the one day, I think we lost the game, a Champions League game. So, some of the players were putting a combi to go to White City. Supporters were coming. They wanted to. They were pushing the combi. They were angry.
But anger. Let's talk about levels of anger. Highlanders Dynamos match. Getting into that match, what was your preparation like, and what was the training different when you were playing Dynamos than, let's say, the other teams?
Yeah, everything is different. If you are playing Dynamos, everything changes. From if you are maybe this week you are playing a game, you are playing Dynamos next week. From this week, everything will change from this because of that game of Dynamos. Sometimes they can say, I think that guy missed my paper the later. He was a good manager. He will say, no, there's no problem. Let's go and camp for 3 days. Away to your family. I want everyone to be, in a good frame of mind, because this game is big. And then and for sure that game will be big.
What is victory? What did victory against Dynamos mean?
I think it's a big victory. If it's Dynamos, it's because the fighting inside. But what I like it about us players, inside we'll be fighting, because everyone is fighting for his page. Especially that page is special. I think Dynamos, my friend is Mrape. I'm Mrape live that page.
Yes.
Mrape love that page. Mrape live Dynamos page. And then maybe to lose to Highlanders, Mrape, I think he doesn't understand, or I don't think he sleep.
I don't think I would want to be in Murape's home when that happens.
Because he playing Dynamos, I think as for players, even in training, you see different attitude. Everyone wants to be there, because it's a big occasion to be there. By that time, the BF will be full capacity. People were sitting down. Then if you see people sitting down, you can tell them, no, this is a big game. It's not easy.
So what was your pre-match ritual? Do you have any sort of ritual that you used to do? Some people like to sing, some people like to listen to music, some people zone out. What was your preparation like just before a big game like that?
Yeah, you need to be in a good frame of mind mentally. You need to be strong, because if you are not strong mentally, I cannot last. You need to be strong mentally, physically. You need to be okay. Then obviously the singing, but the singing as a group, if you see your guys, maybe if you look outside and then see your brother, you can tell the face that no, you are going for a war. And then say that no, guys, let's go. Let's go for a war.
And matches like that obviously have been synonymous with issues of violence. Is it something that as a player you would worry about when you're at a big game like that coming up to say, what if that breaks out?
I'm not worried about that, but I know sometimes, what this situation will cause trouble, because sometimes if the ref have got a bad game, because the problem with the Dynamic Highlanders, the supporters, they don't want to lose. Even it's a goal, they will blame someone.
Yes.
First they blame the ref. Mm-hmm. They don't blame maybe the players. They want to blame someone, the ref or the linesman. But I think for the past maybe 4 years, the game with the Dynamos were not good, because abandoned. It's not good for big games like that to be abandoned. Those are the big teams in Zimbabwe.
And what would you say in your time at Highlanders? Some of your highlights, your big moments, big games that you remember that stood out, where you were really, really happy?
Yeah, I think I won 4 championships with Highlanders. I think, but the best championship I won to Highlanders, it was 2006. I think it was an easy championship when Temendov was the coach, because we won the championship with 20 points. But the other championship, it was difficult. I remember a game at Maswingo. Because we were competing with Amazulu, that Amazulu was a strong team. It was a look at, if you talk about derbys, you go to Amazulu, no. By that time, if you're competing with Amazulu, those are our brothers. If you run with Amazulu, know that there'll be a lot of fighting inside. But the other thing about that, as players, after the game, we'll be together.
I've noticed that though, like the players will be so aggressive on the pitch.
Yeah.
And then you see them after the game.
After the game, we call each other. How far am I chanceling up? So but inside, it's working. You need to fight. You need to fight for the page. You need to fight for your teammates. You need to fight for your supporters. Those who paid a lot of money, you need to fight for them. You show them, no, we are here to work. And then there's a game when we compete with Amazulu. I think Mazulu was playing Restars at home. Us guys were playing Masungo. I know Masungo, it was not easy, but Masungo Highlanders know it was not easy. Those games are actually difficult, very difficult. So that week, we were training at West. When we went to training, it was Tuesday. It was full packed. Supporters want to watch, want to see the first 11. When we were training, the supporters now were whistling that Mandebele.
Yes.
They are enjoying the training. Now people are getting aggressive to each other. So the chairman, this was training. Now,
you want to enjoy yourself.
Now everyone now want to
impress
the fans. They want to play. I think that time the chairman was James Mangwana. Mangwana said, after training, said, now we are moving. We are going to Plumtree. We are staying to Plumtree. After Plumtree, we are going to Masungo. Those people were going all Bulawayo looking for Highlanders. We're there to
This shows the passion that will be there wanting to watch.
Yeah.
And you talk about those moments, exciting moments, but what were the low moments?
The low moments, when especially Champions League. Yeah, I think we're not a bad side. Most, if you are playing those Africa teams, we are not a bad side. But in Zimbabwe, you need to be financially stable if you want to compete with those guys. You need a lot of money. You need a good preparations. I think for the past year, I played four Champions League games. We didn't qualify to the group stage. I think the problem maybe traveling, preparations. I think in Zimbabwe, if you want to maybe to go far in Champions League, we need a lot of funding. Need a lot of good traveling. Because now you travel maybe 3 nights, so it's difficult to go there and compete with those guys. So those are low moments. Then my low moments again, when I get injured, my last game in Zimbabwe, we're the first guys to play to Zimbabwe to qualify for AFCON. So for me, I was part of that team. So for me to get injured to that game and then didn't go there in Tunisia to compete, I think that's my low moment in my football
It's a
career.
regret that it's something you live with. You have to live with.
Yeah. I thought maybe it was a small thing. By the end of the day, it was difficult for me even to come back to that stage, for my physical body. It was difficult. But I struggled. I tried to play maybe for the next 5 to 6 years, but it was difficult. But that low moment, it was that game versus Eritrea National Sports Stadium. But I'm glad to maybe we're the first guys to Zimbabwe to qualify for AFCON. But
And
that was my low moment.
Low moments of that. So when did you get to, what led to, obviously you like you're saying, you had injuries and you never really got back to the yourself before. But do you remember what led you to finally saying, this is time? How long did it take you for you to realize? Because I always wonder how players who've played at a high level, what it takes and what you go through for you to get to a point where you realize, I think I'm done. I think it's time to call it quits.
I think it is difficult. The only thing as players, you don't realize, you think those people that don't like you now, or you think those officials maybe they're against you now, but it is time now.
Your body tells you.
The body tells you, but if the body tells you, but in your mindset, I know I'm still okay. But it is time, because now I was playing with my brothers, my young brother, or maybe, but it was time. So by back then, I think the guy who realized, Chisa now, I think you need to do something. I think it was Metembe and Love, when that club went to Rovers, said, Chisa, come here, you'll be playing, but I want you to nurture my boys, to be there, because I was playing with those guys, Marvelous Nakamba, and Deco, Maachi, those twin brothers, Elvis and Kelvin. So Chisa, I know if you are there. That's why when I go to Wando Rover, those young guys, they call me the general. They know what I know.
But when you feel like Madala,
those guys, they know. Just give the general the ball. I will give you anything. So those guys, I think I'm happy to those youngsters. They give me a lot of respect, because I am happy football now. Those guys footing now, most of them they are playing in a good league. So at Bantu Rovers, I think that's where I realized now this is the time.
But had you in your career, had you thought about life after football?
I think,
or sometimes you find yourself when circumstances lead you to then say it's time. Is it conversations that as a player, or is it thoughts that as a player you have even when you're at your peak to say, what am I going to do when finally it's time to say goodbye?
Yeah, this is a good question. I think that's a problem here in Zimbabwe. If you are in a peak, you don't think about after my playing days. So I think the guy who gave me that, I think I was surprised one day. Then my team said, Chisa, no, you are not training to go and coach my juniors. I know this guy. What is this guy saying now? I'm not training here. They say I must go and coach those guys, those young boys. Then I realized after maybe this guy is just nurturing, he's just training me to be what? To be a coach. Then after that I realized, no, let me go for what? For coaching. But as players, we realize maybe it's too late maybe we need to do this when we are playing. Maybe you are left maybe 3 years. They said, I know I want to go there. I want to do this, still playing. And then you do your pages or you do your courses.
But is it an easy transition? Because like you're saying, from way back in the days in the compound, you're playing football, you get to a point in Mzilikazi, and now you're playing in proper professional setups. You've just thought football as a player. And then you wake up one day and you are no longer a player.
Yeah, it's difficult. That change is difficult. That change is very difficult, but you need to be strong. And then you need to realize, no, my time in playing is up. So I need to put all my energy to this thing.
There's a Shona word that people like to use. I don't know the equivalent. You can tell me the word kupera.
Yeah, ukupela.
Yeah. So, did you get to that point, say ukupela, or already people saying it? Did people at any time say to you, jeez?
You know, in Zimbabwe, there's that thing. Maybe if you played for a long time, even if you come to your opposition, they will start to use that.
Yes.
That word. So you realize no, but you realize no. You go to another maybe ground. I'm that. So you realize now, but because the time I played, they don't consider my age. They consider that guy is played to maybe 10 years now. Now it's time, but the age maybe I'll be 31. And maybe I need maybe 3-4 years.
But is it a problem that we have? Because you will see people celebrating, players in the diaspora who are doing well or who are still playing in their mid-30s, late 30s. But in Zimbabwe, Munungoshka 31, 32, already there's that apera. Any mistake you make is credited to the fact that you are older.
Yeah, that's the problem in Zimbabwe. Plus 40, the officials, they go with that thing. Because maybe the official will be maybe watching the game with maybe other guys, they were talking this language. The officials no, this guy is giving us this and that. Now you take that, the Agapera, his old age. Now we don't want him. But they don't look for what I'm doing inside the ground. Maybe I'm better than a 19-year-old. They don't care about that. They will talk about my age now. So I think maybe the officials, they must stick to if I'm competing with a 15, I'm doing better than a 15. I must play.
Okay.
I must play.
So when you look at the current state of Zimbabwean football and before, all the players always like to compare, even fans that watch football in the olden days like to compare. What would you say are the differences with local football from your playing days and now?
I think right now, they are doing a lot of shortcuts. Now, I think back then, the junior police was very strong. But now, if you go to Bulawayo now, there's no strong junior police. Now, they concentrate about maybe in 18 years. But we need to concentrate about in 9 years, 10 years. If the junior police is strong, the foundation is strong, I think you can see a good football on top.
And then watching from the terraces, for me, entertainment. Sorry. Watching from the terraces, for me, entertainment. You guys were entertainers. We seem like we lack entertainers now. People that give a show for the fans. People that make you want to go and watch them.
Yeah, as players, we know, especially maybe if I'm talking about Highlanders, we know our strength. You know, if you give Chisa will do this. If I give Caesar will do this. If I give Gift will do this. If I give Taban. So everyone will do something for the fans. So that time, that's why the fans will come to stadium to know, I want to go and watch Uzban. I want to go to watch this player. Everyone, maybe 10 players, maybe 30, maybe 60. So I want to go and watch who. But now, everyone said, no, I want to go and watch football. Then those players, there's no entertaining players now. Back then, they were good players. They would take the risk to entertain the fans.
And now we're seeing a lot of a lot of moves from one team to another. Some moves that were taboo, like let's say from Highlanders to Dynamos, Dynamos to Highlanders, from Highlanders to Capes, Capes to Dynamos. How difficult was it? Like in the olden days, what do you think stopped people from making such moves, even when offers were there to say, I can't cross, we used to call it cross the divide?
It was difficult from Highlanders maybe to come to Dynamos, from Highlanders to come to Capes. They'll crucify you. It was a scene in Bulawayo to join Dynamos. Capes they will understand back then, but to join Dynamos, it is a big sin. But now it's okay. I can see people now, they are moving right everywhere now. But back then, we will stay for the pitch. But now, I think now, those big teams, I think money wins now. I think now it's about money. Back then it was about the pitch, but now it's about money.
And as you are coaching right now, let's talk about your coaching career from the time that you said Mitebe was saying, okay, you can coach my boys and Bantu Rovers. What has happened ever since then?
I think I coached those guys in Marvelous, in Nobizita, Masu, Maachi. Then from Bantu Rovers, I won the 2016. I was the championship coach. Then I was the guy who get Bantu Rovers promoted to Premiership.
Wow.
2016. Then 2020 I was the assistant coach for Bulawayo City, and then Bulawayo City promoted to Premier. Then now last year I was the head coach of Atachi FC. So I think my coaching, I think maybe I'm going the right direction just to do my pages.
So at what level are you now?
CAFC.
So I did level 1 and level 2, and I can tell you there are some things you need to read really deep, and things like laws of the game and all these things. And there's been this perception with people to say football people are not educated. Football people, and there was this whole debate about even the elections that are coming up, about 5 O levels and all that. Why was it important for you to get these badges, and how difficult did you face it in the back of people saying,
At first I didn't understand, but when I went to level 1, I understand now. Some of these things I don't know, but maybe I know how to play football. I know maybe half of them, but I need to go in schooling just to understand those things. But I know if I get to the ground, I can do anything in terms of coaching. But I need knowledge about football. But I think it's okay for me. I think it's okay for everyone to just go there and understand some of those things.
I'm so happy you're saying it as a person who played it at your level, because I thought maybe it's because I never played the game, that you get there and you start learning and realizing, okay, I knew football the way that I think I know, but there's so much more to learn about the game.
Yeah, there's so much more to learn about the game. I think it's okay for me just to open my mind as a footballer. Because if you say I'm a footballer, I can do this. Sometimes you can do that, but you need some little bit of knowledge, not just play, but just to maybe just if you are reading something, you can say, no, this thing I don't understand, but now I know it. Just go there in class. It's okay for us as former footballers.
So, what is your take on the 5 O levels situation?
I think that one is not okay. So now you need to go try. I said, I want people 4 O levels. Now everyone want to play football must come with 5 O levels. It's not okay. If you have got that knowledge, they must give you a chance. It's about the knowledge. If you have got that knowledge, they must give you a chance. Especially you've got the former footballers, maybe Benji, Peter, McQuinch. They've played football. They can give us something if they give them those jobs. But there are other guys who didn't play football, but they understand football. You need to give them the job.
But this election is slightly a bit different, because we've seen a lot of names of former players wanting to get into positions. Previously, it sort of felt like legends were just complaining but not getting into the whole situation. How important is it for you as a player? Let's say if we have a former player getting into that board in whatever position it is, as if elections are already being done.
I think now the former players now talking is not okay, but now they are acting. So then, if they're acting like this, I think we are going the right direction. Sometimes we need former players. We have seen it all. They know, they'll understand how these players down there are feeling.
So for you, are you always going to go the coaching route, or at some point you're going to want to get into administration? Or are you that guy who's like, nah, I just want to be training and the kids and in the pitch?
I want to be involved down there. I want to be involved down there. I think I can give me more down there. I think my knowledge is down there.
And what sort of coach are you? Are you an aggressive coach? Are you one of those coaches that shout on the touchline? Are you a soft coach? What sort of coach are you?
Yeah, there are times you need to be hard to the players. There are times you need to just tell them what you know. I know it's difficult, but I'm there for you to give him that lift. Then you know, sometimes said no, now it's enough is enough. You tell him no, if you don't do this, you come here and sit with me. So you need to understand those things. I can't every time if a player makes a mistake, we'll just stand up and then shout. No, you need to give him a lift because I was there and I know how it's difficult. I understand. I will tell him I understand, but just give me. I want to see something. I know today maybe it's your bad game, but I want to see it, know it's your bad game. But give me 120% there.
But won't your bar be high? Because there are things you could do that was so easy to you that might be difficult to the next player. And in your head, you're like, how can you not do something so simple?
Now, the problem is maybe players, if you tell them, I can. Only game is on. Now you are discouraging him. You can tell him in training, why? I can do this. But you are training, you are coming every day. You said you want to be a footballer player, but you can't do this. You must stay at home if you can't do this. You must put you everything here, your mind, everything here. This is where you get your bread and butter here.
So how do you relax? Outside football, what do you like to do?
Outside football, most of the time I've got my friends. Maybe just sometimes go and watch football, or sometimes just stay with my friends, maybe in my neighborhood. Just sit with my friends. Sometimes you don't say that, no, I did this, and then you want to be big in your compound. I know you need to mingle with those guys. Those guys are your best parties.
So you're saying
I can do that. Look at my corner and my face. Go and sit maybe my shops and my face are not on my shops. Maybe now I'm free maybe for 1 hour, 3 hours, and then I go home. So because if I say maybe I did this side, now it's finished. I cannot talk about that. Those guys are my friends. I must socialize with them.
What type of music do you listen to?
Obviously, I listen to splash music, Soul Brothers, Dalom Kids, house music. So those are my music. But my best is splash music. Then Chand, the late Daniel Chand.
And I see a ring.
Yeah.
Married?
Yeah, I am married.
That's all?
Yeah, I'm married. I'm actually married now. I think I'm 30 years married. So it's a lot.
30?
Too many sacrifices.
Sure.
So it's a lot. So you can tell to know too many sacrifices. As they thought as footballers we just change wives, change girlfriends, change what. But now it's a lot. I've stayed with my wife maybe I think now I'm going for 30 years.
Sorry, that's why I kept saying only because there's this perception that football players love women. Not perception, sometimes it's true.
Yeah.
And did you face that temptation during your career?
Obviously, those things will come. Because maybe those big teams, Highlanders, Dynamos, they attract a lot of supporters. So everyone wants to socialize with you. Everyone wants to be your friend. So it's difficult. It's difficult, but you need to be man enough.
So is it true that there are ladies that specifically target football players? Like
yeah.
from one player to another
From
to
one
another.
player to another. And there are those ladies what I know. There's sometimes those people they call them what I don't know how to say, but they are there. Those ladies.
And what advice would you give to a young player who's getting in, especially even not even young? You know, there are players that are at the peak right now,
Yeah.
where the attention is on them and
Yeah.
all the women want them. From the lessons that you've learned in your career, what do you want to say to them?
I want to say to them, you need to respect your partner. I think your partner, because when you are down, is the one who will be with you. Those ladies, sometimes they come to you with that, I know you are famous now, we are doing this, we are doing that. Then after that, they will leave you. They will look for another one. So if you see a lady that comes to your life looking for that, I think that's a wrong lady. Because now it's happening even in Europe. Then they get married and then they divorce, they share those properties. So those ladies, so you don't trust ladies. They come.
Those ladies, not ladies.
they come they come for something to you. They said, okay, now he's doing this, and they came to you. And after that, now we are out and done. They will leave you.
And there's an issue of juju in football.
Yeah.
Did you?
Juju in football is there in Zimbabwe football. Most teams use juju, but I don't want to go to details about the teams I play.
You said enough.
I said enough. Juju is there in football.
And you look at the situation with our sport now, the situation with our game now, and you're on the sidelines, you're watching in. What are you hoping for Highlanders?
I think my team now is difficult. I think Highlanders now is difficult for Highlanders because now, especially now in Bulawayo, we have got now 2 teams. I think Highlanders now they need to dig deep if they want to win the championship. But to dig deep, we need sponsors. We need players. Now the players are moving from Highlanders. Maybe the core of the team now is not there now. Maybe 5 players who are playing for Highlanders are not there now. So for Highlanders now, we need to rebuild again. To rebuild is difficult. So now, especially Highlanders, they need to dig deep because to win the championship this time is difficult. Because if they want to win the championship, they must come in to compete with these big bucks teams in Harare. So it's difficult because these teams, if you look now from the paper, and then you look at Highlanders from the paper, then you look at Highlanders financial, and then financial and can tell that no, it will be difficult for Highlanders. Not Highlanders alone now we are including Dynamos and Cape United. Those teams now, Scotland, Zimbabwe, those young, maybe upcoming teams, I think they're strong.
And if you were, I know it's hypothetical, but if you had played in this era, you spoke about how you made the move to Highlanders when there were offers from Real Stars and Sundowns, and Jube Sundowns because of the badge. If you were a current player right now, you're playing for Highlanders, you love the badge, but you've got an offer from the new teams that have got the big bucks, what decision would you have made?
Now it's about the bucks. I think now it's about the financial because our career is too short. So after 5 years, you need to look back and say, I played for Highlanders. Then maybe Scotland called me now. I've got nothing because after playing football, there are few people who come to and then look after you. So now you see, you need to look after yourself. You need to look after your family. Because if you don't do that, so maybe you put wrong industry. So you want just to play football for what?
Because I asked that question because you will find fans, right? They've got these jobs, they make their moves to better jobs. But when it comes to players, they're very judgmental about, especially the younger, early 20 kids that are moving over to these for the platform, and then and opportunities don't come every day.
Yeah, because maybe it's a once thing. Maybe once time you just one, then you said no, I want to. Then after that, your football career is over. Then you'll be your whole life you'll be regretting stuff. If I joined Scotland, they give me this, and then I do this and this and that. If you now you can see, because now if Highlanders can lose 5 players, you can tell everything is changing in football, in Zimbabwe football. Even the players now, their mind now they are changing. When there's money, they will go there. Then if you look back, there was Platinum. Everyone was going at Sushaban. I think by that time, maybe Platinum have got maybe 40 good players, the best players. They've got maybe 10, 11 good players in the calendar. It's Platinum. Now Zimbabwe, Scotland is doing this now. They put maybe 8 players who are in the calendar now at this Scotland. So if they've got the money, people, they'll go. Where there's money.
And then the issue of you are a coach, you are coaching, you're in Matabeleland, and previously people just thought you're in Matabeleland, you're going to coach teams in Matabeleland. We've seen the coming in of Gidiza at Dynamos, the coming in of Jolo Patla at Dynamos, and then moving on to Simba Bora. What is your take on it, and does it give you hope as a coach in Bulawayo to say maybe one day I might get these big opportunities that are coming up from these big teams that are now looking beyond, because before a lot of people were looking at allegiance. Which teams did you play? You're a son of which team? If you're a son of Highlanders, why do you want to go and coach at Dynamos?
Yeah, I think now things are changing. You can see the players now. Back then, just to maybe big players like Peter, so and June, then will come here to join. It was difficult, but now the players are changing. If the coaches are changing, now Joyce is here. Mate always from Bulawayo is here, and then my friend Kitiza is here. It's good for us, not good for us Bulawayo. It's good for us for Zimbabwe, because here that side in Bulawayo have got many people from Harare who are here, but you can never hear maybe a Bulawayo guy complaining, as former players complaining, there's chicken, there's no one in Bulawayo who is coaching, but there are people from Harare. We never ask complaining, because it's okay. It's okay, maybe they are the best. So you don't want to hear people saying, why Joe is here, this side coaching. That's football. Give him opportunities, give him support. If he fail, then they can make a decision. But just because he's from Bulawayo, you don't want him here, it's not okay. You need to be united as a football nation. Not about 2 time and I cannot come to Harare. And me, I want to come here. If there's money, I can come here in Harare and then I can stay and coach. Support. Now it's about money.
There you go, Harare Club Signature is available.
We need to take care of our families.
It's available for an opportunity. I think it'll be a big thing, having you coaching a team from Harare in whatever level. So what are your hopes for the future?
I think in Zimbabwe football, I think it's difficult now, especially the funding, the sponsorship. I think we need a lot of sponsorship, especially the premier teams, the T1 teams, everyone. Not I think from the junior level, we need the sponsorship. If there's no sponsorship, I think we cannot go anywhere. That's why we can take those shortcuts. We need sponsorship, maybe funding. Club must pay. They must be funded by someone. Maybe Zifa or what. They must give them that monthly allowance. And then they need to get a good sponsor to sponsor the league. I think if you go around this maybe Botswana, they are playing maybe for 5 million. South Africa, they're playing for 20 million. Then you are playing for 70,000. So you are too far. So you need if you want to compete, you need to compete for maybe for $5 million US, the winners. Then we say, now our football maybe are going in the right direction. Then we need to seek support from the junior structures. We need to give them the big tournaments. Because now those youngsters, too much drugs and alcohol down there. So if there's no football, then there's no sports, they're just sitting, they will do these bad things. So we need to avoid this.
I'm going to put you in the corner, tight corner. Yeah. That's before we finish off. 2025 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League season. Who do you think will be in the top 3?
The top 3? First map is now Scotland. I think Scotland, if they put everything, I think they've got a good team, good players. Then if everything is in order and everything, maybe they will fight for each other. If there will be a team, I think one Scotland, and then you go. I think Platinum is always there. FC Platinum, because they are not buying a lot. Now they are just adding. Silent. They are not talking now. Now Platinum is out. For the past 3 years, it was Platinum. I think Zimbabwe, I think Joe, I know most of the players left Zimbabwe, but I think Joe, I think he will do a good job. Maybe at those top 3, I think Highlanders and Dynamos, it will be difficult, tough luck for the big boys.
There you heard it from Jesus. I didn't say it. It's a prediction, guys. It's not prophecy. So he's looking at the situation that is currently happening here. And before I go, I always like to say this to my guest, in case there's something that you feel like Yvonne didn't ask me. This is an area that I wanted to speak about. Is there anything that we left out?
I think you've covered a lot. I think I'm happy you invited me here in Yvonne, so I thank you. Then to Zimbabwe football, to those who are vying for those positions, I said the best men or the best guys and women.
Let the best women or men win. And by the time you watch this interview, obviously, we will know who the next person is who will take us through to the next coming years in Zimbabwean football. Obviously, we had to squeeze this interview way before the elections because Chisa, he's in the capital. And like I said at the start of the show, I wasn't expecting you to just say yes, yes, yes. I know you've got a tight schedule. You came to Harare for a reason. You're not here for a long time, but you agreed to come on the show. Thank you very much for everything that you have said and for coming on the show. Until next time, when we bring you another sporting personality, hoping that it's just as big as the guest that we had today. Until next time, goodbye.